Welcome to Kitchen Counseling. I'm Chef Tom. I'm your motorcycle riding holistic chef. Now I got a great recipe for you today. This one is one of my faves. I've actually been doing this since I was a kid. It was my mom's cheesecake recipe that I actually started adjusting and doing some different things to it. And as I grew older, I even adjusted it some more. So this is my sour cream lemon cheesecake. And this one is just a fantastic one. It's actually not very hard to make. It takes time because after you make it up, you got to put it in the freezer and freeze it and get it cold and all that kind of stuff. So it does take like 24 hours to do the whole thing. But the actual cooking part of it and everything is actually pretty simple. So we're going to go through that for you, and we're going to show you how to do that. So before we do, I want to tell you kind of what you need for this. You're going to need like a mixer. I got a KitchenAid mixer here to do all the filling up and everything like that. You're going to need a 9-inch springform pan. That's just going to make it nice and easy. You're going to need a couple bowls for mixing stuff. I got the breadcrumb or the graham crumbs in here. And then you're going to need like a cookie sheet. Let me swing this camera down so you can see all this. Hold on here. Now you're going to need like a cookie sheet, because I'm using actually a 9x13 pan. You're gonna actually put this in here in a water bath when you cook it. And that to me is one of the things that really makes it really nice and keeps it nice and creamy and all that. Here's all your ingredients. You're gonna use 32 ounces of cream cheese. You got 6 egg yolks. You're gonna have about 5.5 ounces of a heavy heavy whipping cream. We got 4 ounces, which is basically 1 stick of butter that's melted. We're going to use some vanilla. We're going to use some lemon essential oils for my essential oil fans. And we got some sugar. And you need a cooling rack, because you're going to be coming and going out of the oven. And you're going to also need 32 ounces of sour cream for the topping. So let's get this first start down. Whoa, come on, boy. Hang in there. Why are you giving me trouble today? There we go, much better. Okay, so we're gonna do the crust first. So the first step, we're gonna use 6 ounces of graham cracker crumbs. If you can't find graham cracker crumbs, just get some graham crackers, throw them in the food processor, a couple of seconds, and boom, you got crumbs. All right, so we've got 6 ounces here of our graham cracker crumbs, and then we're gonna put in 4 teaspoons of sugar. So we're going to throw that in there. And then we're going to put in that stick of butter that we melted, so that 4 ounces of butter. And I'm going to swing the camera down so you can see what I'm doing with this. So here's going to be our crust. And we're just going to mix it all up. All right? So I'll get it all mixed in there. There we go. Just like so. And you're just kind of getting it all incorporated. I like to use my hands because I can feel it. I can feel that there's no dryness there. Everything's getting all mixed in. And then we're just going to pour this whole thing into our springform pan. This is going to be our crust. So we just throw all of that in there and just pat it down. You want it even, you want it all, you don't want any kind of looseness in it, so you want it to be a nice solid base. So you're just gonna work it around with your fingers, cover everything, make sure you don't have any holes or gaps. The butter's holding it all together. The sugar's going to give it some nice flavor. The graham crackers are already sweet, so you get a little extra sweetness there. Just feel it. You can kind of feel it, get it all in place. Make it as even as you possibly can. And there you go. Let's see if I can bring this up here again. So then once we've preheated our oven now. And now what do we put the oven at? Well, the oven's been set at 350. So now we're gonna cook this crust for just about 5 minutes on 350 degrees. And then we're gonna take it out, let it cool, and we're gonna make the the filling that goes in it. So we'll be right back. Let me get this into the oven, and we'll be back doing the filling. All right, see you in a minute. Bye. All right, we're back. All right, and if you noticed, we had a little accent. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Anyway, we finished up with our crust. Let's spit down here so you can kind of see what we got going here. So we got a nice crust. It's just kind of cooling for us. We're going to leave it there for a few minutes while we make our filling. By the time we make the filling, get that all put together, that's going to be cool enough we can put that back, or put that in there, fill it up. Then we're going to stick it back in the oven, and we're going to cook it in a water bath, which I'm going to explain as we get to that point. And then we've actually turned our oven down from 350 is what we baked the crust on. We're going to do the cheesecake at 325. So we've already turned it down, so it's kind of cooling off a little bit. So that's cooling off, the crust is cooling off. We're going to make our filling right now. But before I go into that, I want to explain everything that's in it, because I kind of went all over the things and I was just not really giving you like a recipe. So for the crust, we needed 6 ounces of the graham cracker crumbs, 4 teaspoons of sugar, and 4 ounces of butter. Unsalted butter is best. Melted, if you don't, you have to use the butter. But melted one, that's fine. But the unsalted works best because you're going to have so many other things going on here. You don't want it to be salty. That's it. We mixed it all together. We pressed it into the base of our springform pan. We put it in the oven. We cooked it at 350 degrees for 5 minutes, and now it's cooling. So that's the part where we've gotten to up to now. So now we're going to make the filling. So here's the filling. So the filling is going to be 32 ounces of cream cheese. And I'm going to swing you down here so you can see this, and I'm going to actually start adding stuff in as we're talking about the ingredients. Let's bring you out of here. There we go. We got our nice mixer here. I've put the 32 ounces already in there a while ago just to kind of start softening it, bringing it to room temperature. It makes things a little bit easier to work with. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 8 ounces of sugar. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in at a time as it's going, and just kind of what we call creaming it. And then I'll scrape down the sides, kind of get all that sugar intermixed with that cream cheese. Then we're going to add 6 egg yolks right here. And you can choose those 1 to 2 at a time. Let them incorporate in. I don't want to throw them all in at the same time. And then we're going to put in 5 ounces of a heavy cream and 2 teaspoons of your vanilla extract. And then I'm going to put in the zest, the lemon zest from 2 lemons. And we're going to finish it off with 6 to, well, I actually do about 12 to 15 drops of the lemon essentials. This just gives it an extra lemony pop. It's really, really nice. So let me bring this up when I turn this on so it doesn't get too crazy. And let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and get this started. So right now we're just kind of softening up the cream cheese. And then I'll swing this down again in a little bit so you can actually see the process as we're getting all the different things in here. But I'm going to put a little bit of the sugar in. Now we got 8 ounces. I don't put it all in at one time. You know, maybe put about 2 to 3 ounces in at a time. Let it kind of get in there. You'll see the consistency change. Then put in a little bit more. And I'll show you what I'm doing at this point now. So we'll get this going. And then we'll swing down. So I'm going to scrape down the sides of our mixer. Oh yeah, it's already getting nice and creamy here. Still feel you can still hear it and feel the granules of the sugar. So once we get this all beat all together, it's going to all incorporate in. All right, so we're going to bring this back up. We'll throw in the last little bit of our sugar, and we'll get that going. So there we got a nice little, start to get nice and creamy there. So now we're going to add our eggs, 1 to 2 at a time. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now you can see that the consistency's already changed, the colors change. You don't get that grittiness now with the sugar. It's more yellow with all of the eggs. It made it a lot creamier. So now we're in good shape for finishing up here. So now it's really set. We're just gonna actually bring this back up, and we're just gonna add the rest of the ingredients. So we got our cream, 5 ounces of heavy cream. Whoa, I better turn that down. I got that up a little bit too high for the cream. Bouncing out all over the place. We'll put our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. And then we're going to add our lemon zest. This is from 2 lemons. All right. Okay, get all that out of the way. Give it a little look-see here. Oh yeah, it's looking good. I'm gonna get all that lemon down in there, all the lemon zest down in there. Add a little bit more here on the side that I wanted to get in there. And I'm just giving it a last little blend here, and then it's going to pour right into our cooled crust. So let me give this a little quick. All right. Oh, you know, I just realized I did not put my lemon essential oil in there. And the lemon essential oil, you're just going to drop it in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you've never worked with essential oils before, definitely send me an email. Check out all the info at the end of the show. I can help you, show you how to actually cook with them. Be very cautious when you do use them because they are concentrated, and so they can actually blow it away if you don't know what you're doing. So that's why I like to show people and help them out as they start getting it. But it gives great flavor. It boosts already the flavor you're doing with everything else in there. And it has some great therapeutic benefits to it also. So let's go ahead and finish this off and get this into the oven. All right. And get my... Let's get my beater out of here. Excellent. Okay, now let's spin you down so you can actually see where I'm putting it now. Here's our, got our 9-inch springform pan with our baked crust already in there, the graham cracker crust. Now we're gonna throw our total mixture in here. Now we're just going to smooth it out. We just want to get it all just fairly even. Make sure we got all the sides in there. Because we want this to cook very nice and even so that we can add that sour cream topping on it, which is going to give it that nice last little layer. All right, so this is going into our oven. Now I told you before that we're gonna cook this in a water bath. All right, so let me get those ingredients out here for you. So I'm using a 9x13 pan. You can use a cookie sheet, a baking sheet that has some edges on it. I like a little bit higher edges. So you're just gonna put some water in it, okay? Once I get it all in here, then I'll show you what I'm doing. And then we're gonna set this cheesecake, the 9-inch springform pan, inside the pan with the water. I'm gonna put a little bit more water in here so we have some depth here going on. All right, let's swing down so I can show you what I got going here. So here's our pan. Our water is up to about maybe half, almost half, not quite. This is gonna help it cook really even. Let's go ahead and get this in the oven. You have to be careful when you're moving it. If the water's gonna be moving around on you. You don't need to stare at the counter while I'm doing that. All right, so we've moved our oven temperature down to 325. We're gonna throw this in here. And then we're gonna, so what are we gonna set the timer for? We're gonna have it at 325, we're gonna cook it for about 40 minutes, all right? 40 minutes, we're gonna check it with the toothpick, make sure that it's set. This original recipe was for a smaller amount. I've made it bigger, so sometimes it needs another 5 minutes or so. I'll probably be adjusting that recipe. We're gonna start with the 40 minutes. Let's see where it goes with 40 minutes. All right, we're set. So we're gonna let that cook, and in 40 minutes, we're gonna check it, and if it's not ready, we're gonna put it in for a few more minutes. Once the toothpick comes out nice and clean, then I know I'm good. And in that process, while it's cooking, we'll go ahead and make our topping that we can put on. Because once it comes out and we put the topping on it, we're just gonna stick it in the oven for about 10 minutes just to let that sour cream topping set. And then it's gonna get wrapped up and thrown in the freezer and get set in the freezer. So let's do this, let's hang out, have a little glass of wine, whatever you're doing here. We'll get this cooking and we'll be back in a few minutes and we'll do the actual topping. All right, see you soon, bye. All right, we're back. Now, we are gonna make the topping, the sour cream topping for this. We're still waiting for the cheesecake to finish up in the oven. So I'm gonna spin you down here, show you what we're gonna put in here for the topping, have it ready to go. Then when we take the cheesecake out, we're just gonna let it sit for a few minutes and let it cool, and then we're gonna put this on, we'll just stick it back in the oven. So here's where we are at. We have 32 ounces of sour cream in our mixer there. We're gonna start bringing that up. We're gonna add 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And again, I tend to add a little bit at a time. And we're gonna add a couple teaspoons of vanilla. Add the rest of our sugar. To incorporate it all in here. Let's check it out. We'll give it a little taste. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking. Nice little sour cream. The sugar kind of helps blend it down a little bit so it's not so sour creamy. This is going to go on top of the cheesecake, and we're going to bake that and set that in. It's going to be awesome. So you're just blending that together, just mixing it together so it's all incorporated. You don't have granules with the sugar and stuff, and that's really it. So I'm going to set this aside. As soon as that cheesecake comes out of the oven, we're gonna put it on here. We're gonna finish up for today. I'll throw it in the freezer. We'll finish this thing up tomorrow, and I'll show you the whole process, or the whole thing tomorrow. So while we're still waiting, how much time we got here? Yeah, we still got about 6 minutes on the stovetop. You can hear there's some other cooking going on here. We got a lot of cooking going today. Competing smells today. We're doing a chicken and green chili pozole also. I love that recipe. But I want to tell you a little bit about the finger. All right, this is when you work in the industry, you know what this is. You walk in and somebody had a little accident. But the funny thing about this is I'm working from home today, and when I hit it pretty hard, and I yelled out. I was like, well, I didn't say what I can't. I'm not going to say it on here. But anyway, my sister's in the other room. She's a nurse, and she's like, do you need a tourniquet? And I was like, no. And her next response is, did you cut it off? She goes completely to the extreme. I was like, I didn't even think about that. I was like, no, I got blood everywhere, and I got took a big chunk out. But I'm like, I didn't even think about, did I cut my finger off? But it's just funny how we come at things from our different perspectives in life. Anyway, we'll be back when we finish this up, and see you in a few minutes. Bye-bye. Welcome back. All right, we're here for one of our final steps here. We got the cheesecake now out of the oven. It had to cook a little bit longer. I figured it was because the original recipe was for a smaller pan. I made a bigger pan. I put more stuff in it. So we ended up cooking this for 50 minutes instead of 40. So we basically do the toothpick method every time to make sure it comes out clean. Once it comes out clean, then it's cooked all the way through and it's good. So I'm going to spin you down so you can see what we got going here. We're going to add the sour cream topping on it. And the only thing we got left, once I get the sour cream topping on it, we're going to throw it back in the oven now for 10 minutes and let that sour cream topping just kind of solidify on there and cook in there. We're going to take that out and we're done for the day. Then it's going to get, we're going to set it out to cool for a little bit. Then it's going to go in the freezer for overnight. So we'll finish this up tomorrow. So this will be our last step for today. So let's do it. All right, so here's what we got to work with. Here's our cheesecake right now. And we are going to just pour our sour cream topping all over the top here. And just scoop it on carefully because it's just been cooked. Now I've let it cool for a little bit, but it's not real cool. And we're just going to put this all over the top. Get it down the sides. Cover all the top. All around the edges. Just like so. Be a little gentle with it because it is movable right now. The cheesecake is still very pliable. What's going to happen is that we'll put it in the freezer and it will all solidify up and become a nice solid creamy cheesecake. But right now, just coming out of the oven, it's still a little bit, I would call, on the airy side. So you want to be careful as you're putting the topping on it. You don't need to use all the topping you made. I always make extras. I always make extra. I would rather have a little bit left over than run short, you know. All right, we're gonna throw this back in the oven now. And you know what? It's just gonna go back in the oven for 10 minutes and that's it. That's it for today. So we will come back tomorrow and we'll finish her up. Okay, see ya.